Hi everyone, in this video we'll look at how we can automate uh, inquiry form submission with Airtable. So let's say you have a business and you have put up a form in your website and people are coming in and sending you inquiries. So how we can automate that form submission to the data going into an Airtable table as such, along with some automations, to change the status and so on and so forth. So let's quickly look at how we can do that. By the way, I am Romit and we are an AI automations agency. We help businesses organize and automate with no-code tools like Airtable, Make, Zapier, etc. So if you want to understand how we can do that for your business as well, please hop on a call. Link is there in the description. I'll be happy to help you. So yeah, coming back to the video, let me quickly share my screen, and we have one schema created here known as projects. It contains very basic schema tables like contacts, which contains person details, projects, which are the actual projects um, you know given to this company, and there is one services table where we have put these services which this particular company offers. Basically it's a software development company, and then all these projects have certain tasks running to complete the projects. Okay, so what I want to do is I also want to automate the inquiry system, which it could exist in this particular setup. So let me quickly go ahead and delete the default fields which come when I create a table. I'll relieve the status field because we may require that. Okay, so what we may have is basically we may link it to, we may have the email address here. Okay, we already have email in the contacts table here. So what I want to do is link to another record. Let's say contacts, and this inquiry, uh, obviously let me do one thing here. Let me create a new field itself, because what would happen is inquiry is the first step in this process. So when an inquiry comes, we may or may not have that as a contact in our database. So let me create an email field. Okay, and maybe phone number. Okay, and the status we already have. Let me put this here. And then what we may ask in the inquiry form is the problem, okay, which the person is facing, and because of which he is reaching out to this agency for the services. Okay, I mean, I'm just creating a long text column here with this particular name. You can, uh, you know, name it whatever you like. Okay, so these are the basic fields which this inquiry form may contain, and along with that, each inquiry, you may basically assign it to a specific person. Okay, so I create a user field. Okay, uh, so we won't allow multiple users because each inquiry we want it to be assigned to only one particular user. Okay, right. And last but not the least, we may want the created date here to know when this inquiry was actually placed. Okay, and this primary field, I may want it to be a formula field. You know, where we concatenate other parts we have coming in from other columns. For example, to exactly know what that particular record is all about. So we may have the name, put the email here. Okay. Let's put it inside curly braces and then followed by created at field. Um, let's quickly do that. There was some problem with the formula it is telling. Okay, I didn't put the closing braces. Okay, so there you go. It's doing that. Okay. And plus, I forgot to add a name field as well. Let me put name field because that is also something which we may want. Okay, name. Let me edit this. Hmm, Let me name it as unique ID here, and let me quickly bring the name here and all this name. Okay, so we are now set with the table. Now, uh, you may think it's great that we are creating this inquiry table, but how would the data come into this table? So what we can do here in Airtable is we already have something known as forms view. Okay, so we can create one form view. Let's say we call this inquiry form and we create a view, and there, you know, since we are creating this form inside this inquiry and table itself, so automatically it gives me all the fields we basically created under inquiry table. Okay, so what we can do is we can add a description like this. You can design the form, you can put a logo if you want. So we want name, email, phone. We don't want the status column to be visible on the form, so we'll remove this from the form. And this is something which we require, and also we also don't want the assigned to field to be visible in the form. Okay, and even the uh, created at date, I think we don't want this. We This created at date should get populated as soon as the records get as soon as the record gets created. So I think that would happen automatically. Okay, as an inquiry record gets created in the inquiry table. Okay, so I think this is sufficient for now. What we can do is we can copy this link, share the form URL directly with the person whom we want uh, to fill the form, or we can put this form even in our website, embed this form. Okay, so if I try to open this form, let's try to enter some data here. Let's say I'm adding my details itself. Okay, and then submit. So the data gets submitted. Let's quickly go to the inquiry table and see, if we got the data. I don't see the created at. Okay, created at. It should be created time field actually, and we don't want to include the time here. Okay, let me save this. Okay. So when I do this, automatically it is adding the email ID and the date, created date value into the unique ID, which doesn't look that great. So what I can do here is edit this field and use something known as date format function, date time format, okay, which takes in created date, and you can quickly look at date time format in Airtable because I generally don't remember the syntax. Let's say I'm looking at some common format like MMDD by or DDMM by. So let's see what is the how we can get that into place. Mhm. Yes, so I think a lot of these date format MMDD by we can give a L here, okay, or MD triple Y. We can also give this small L. Okay. I think this capital L works for us. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll come back to the Airtable and I'll give this capital L here. Date time format created at is the parameter with L as the option we want. Okay, there was some problem. Date time format. How do we? This is the field and then comma, double quotes, and then this, right? So that is what I did also as well, right? Let's try double quotes if that works. Okay, I got the problem. I forgot one closing parenthesis. Okay, now it is taking the correct date. So we see the date in MMDDYY format. Okay, which is great. Now let me go ahead and delete these blank records because they are all blank. Okay, so we have this automation in place where on submit of this form, and we have the form URL which could be embedded in the website or directly given as it is as a URL link. When this form is submitted, we see the data directly coming in, containing the name, email, phone, the problem, and the created at. Okay, one thing which it is not taking is the status because we removed the status drop down. Okay, so if we want to put a default option here, okay, or create an automation uh, in progress done, there are two options currently. Uh, so we may have, let's say, new and assigned options as well. So the default we may want it to directly take the new option or the new value here. Okay, let's quickly check that out if that is working. You know, with the form. Let me go back to the projects uh, base, and please don't worry about the other tables here. Just concentrate on the inquiry table which I've selected or created from scratch in this video. And I'll go to the form settings here. What I'll do is I'll copy the link and try to submit another data. Okay, let's say taking some random data here, and I submit. So let's see if we are able to get the data here. Data is coming in and it is coming with status new. So the default option which we selected while creating this field is working. Okay, now let's quickly go to automations, and we would want to change the status of the inquiry to assigned. Once a user is assigned to that record. Okay, so we would basically call it off, or let's call it automation 2 only for now. Add a trigger. So what we will do is when a record matches conditions, inquiry table, and what is that condition? When uh, assigned to is not empty, that is first condition, and the status is new. Okay, so when both these conditions are satisfied, only then I want to go ahead and update the record status to assign. Okay, so let me quickly, so there is no uh, basically the record which we can test. Let me quickly, okay. So let me go back to the data here by clicking on the new tab option. And what I'll do is, let me quickly change this to Rohit Bhandari, because now when I go back to the automation, we will see some record coming up. So because since it was assigned to a person, so this got, so we see a record there, and now we have chosen the record. And what we can do is we can add an action item to update that record. So let's go ahead and do that. Again, you have to select the table known as inquiry. Record ID is the Airtable record ID, which is this one. And then we can change the status of this record to assign. Okay, that's it. We can run the test. And coming back to the data, as you can see, the first uh, record, the status got changed from new to assign. Okay, similarly, when I change, and if I just turn this automation on, okay, and go back to the database, change this to assign to, automatically you see the status changed to assigned. So we had the automation working for us in that case. So that's how we can create an inbound inquiry form and automate it. The data coming from the form to the database, and then do some manipulations with respect to the fields like change of statuses, sending emails, which obviously didn't work in this case due to some issue. But yeah, if you follow the process which I told in the video, even that sending email would work generally. I look into this issue and maybe create another video on that. But yeah, you get the idea how we can automate the entire workflow there. So that's what I wanted to cover in the video. If you want to do a one-on-one discovery call on how you as a business can automate your processes, organize and increase efficiency in your business with no-code tools, please open a call with me. Link is there in the description, and I'll be happy to help you with the guidance. If we can help us, or I'll try to direct you to the right tools, and so on and so forth. So that's it for the video. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.